If you were to buy a pressure cooker or a tripod, what would you type into Google or Amazon? So pressure cooker, I just asked my mom, because she knows so much about this. But for the tripod, I'd look up online on Amazon or Google, which is the best tripod available. What is the best way to learn French? Which is the best business school in France? Which are the best earphones that will deliver music to my... It has to be the best. There's another end of the spectrum where customers prefer low cost over anything, like airline tickets or the amount of time they want to spend learning French. To learn something from someone and to find your own path, the most success would happen when you pick someone who's not the best, who's not an expert in the field yet. Not the best? I need nothing but the best. My child should go to the best tuition, the best French class, the best music class on planet Earth to succeed. I know this desire for the best is to ensure maximum osmosis possible. But this is not often the best choice because of this cognitive bias called the curse of knowledge. 2 years before I was born, a Stanford graduate provided experimental evidence for this theory. She divided a group of participants into two kinds. One were the tappers and one were the listeners. She asked the tappers to tap out with their fingers on the table a popular jingle, "Happy Birthday to You" or something like that. While the listeners tried to name these melodies like, "Oh, you're tapping Happy Birthday to You." When the tappers were asked, they always overestimated the number of listeners who will get the song. Because the tappers here are so familiar with the song and so convinced that what they're tapping is it, that they fail to realize what it sounds like to someone who doesn't know the song, who doesn't have the song in his head right now. See, teaching people English is quite difficult for me because I'm so far ahead in the process, in this journey, that I can't relate with the problems or the challenges a beginner is facing. If I'm chums with the chief digital officer for the entire division, the whole company, I don't think I'll be able to drive as much value from him because he's so far ahead in the journey. Now, his network today is definitely helpful for me. He can introduce me to interesting people, but he was solving these problems in a world that doesn't exist anymore. I'm solving it in a new context. And there are new opportunities too, which might not come to his mind because he solved it a long time ago. What would really help me is someone who is ahead in the journey for sure, but someone who's relatable, someone who just did this shortly ago. Back when I was studying physics, this is what I look like. When I was studying physics in this tuition class in India, this teacher, to encourage us to ask questions, said there are no stupid questions. There are only stupid people who don't ask questions. That's exactly how everyone behaves. Not just students, even adults. We don't like to ask questions because that may make us look stupid. And this fear is just magnified when you're with an expert, when you're with someone who's so far ahead that you don't dare to ask a question. And at the end of it, you didn't get anything from that exchange. Or probably he said something that you're not struggling with yet. Back then, I asked this question in my maths tuition to this teacher, Belgali, who told me, before answering my question, he said, "You're asking me this question so close to the exam that I'm certain you will fail." And I did. I didn't fail that exam. I got a 92 on 100. I went back to meet him and he went, "Congratulations." He's an expert. He's so far ahead that for him, it's just hopeless. This question is just hopeless. All these anecdotes to point out that you need less than an expert to relate with them and to learn from them when you're on your journey of learning something. Now, I do see the benefit of having an expert. It's really valuable to have a North Star. For me, when it came to pronunciation in French, I wanted to sound like this guy, Guillaume Meurice, or like Marina Rollman. For that, an expert is good. But if I had an hour with Marina or with Guillaume back when I was a beginner in French, I don't think I would have been able to extract the value from their French prowess because I'm so far behind in the journey. Maybe if I meet them now, I don't have the fear of being stupid in French. So it doesn't even have to do with limited access to these people. I think it really is harmful to meet these experts in the learning journey. You should meet them maybe after you've reached some kind of expertise, maybe to improve some more. But back when you're starting in the beginning, the first few hours, don't hang out with the experts. That's not helpful. If you're driving in your car from Bombay to Mumbai, that's the same thing. If you're driving in your car from Bombay to Belgaum, that's more like it. For all these hundreds of kilometers ahead of you, you don't need alerts and information about what's the quality of the road, is there a tree. It's not relevant right now. All that's relevant right now is the 15 feet ahead of you. that's the curse of knowledge. You can't relate to an expert and you don't need to. So the Harvard paper and all the experiments were focusing on how you can sell better, how you can communicate better, and how you can teach better. But I'm flipping that around to see how we could learn better. What kind of information we need to filter out and stop desiring that kind of information because it won't be helpful in our journey. So it's like my version of the curse of knowledge. If you've abandoned your journey on your route from Bombay to Belgaum because of failure, then take heart that you're still struggling with the problem. That means you're courageous. Failure plus courage is all you need to get back on the track and hit success. All about my thoughts on that in this video right here. Thank you so much for tuning into this one. I'll see you in the next one. Keep learning.